crazy. The concept of a shipping container seems very off-putting to a lot of people until they see what can actually be done with them. We are a very visual species. Like, you can say, hey, you can do really cool things with shipping containers, and they're going to smile and nod and say, yeah, okay, cool. But inside, they're thinking you're crazy. But when they actually set foot inside one, or they actually see what can be done, then they're like, okay, this can be done, and it's really not that far of a stretch. You can do all of the modern things. You can have all the modern amenities. It's just if you're creative enough to step outside of the box by stepping into the box, I guess. It's been an idea for so long, I can't honestly say where it came from. Before we actually even broke ground and started building this, it was 7 or 8 years in the making. Both my wife and I were talking about the different possibilities of what we could do with a shipping container or shipping containers as a home. But it's been so long, I can't remember where it actually came from. I know it's relatively new here in the US, the concept of shipping container homes, but places like Costa Rica, they've been doing it for 20 plus years, converting shipping containers, old shipping containers, into dwellings.
I researched them online and I saw some beautiful houses and what they did with the shipping containers. That would be the first step, to see it's not just a box, or you can make it into something nice, or you can make it your own. That would be the first step, is to go out there and see what other people have done.
So we are on the chassis. The shipping container is its own separate entity, essentially. The shipping container chassis is just what they use to transport them. We bought the chassis along with the container because we wanted to maintain this overall concept of freedom and mobility. We didn't want to be secured to a foundation where we're going to be locked in for life. We like the idea of being able to, if a job comes up in another state, or if something happened where we wanted to go somewhere else, we could bring our dream home with us. We don't have to abandon everything that we've worked hard and built from scratch and just up and leave it and go find something else if another opportunity arose somewhere else. So we wanted to maintain the idea of a kind of a self-sufficient mobile home. %100% solar, off-grid. So off-grid is actually kind of tricky depending on how you want to look at it. I have a cell phone that's connected to a grid of sorts. We are disconnected from the electrical grid. We don't have any utility lines coming to our dwelling and giving us any power. We're 100% solar, soon to be wind turbine as well. The overall cost of the project, and remember, this is the first one, so it's essentially a prototype. A third of the cost we estimated was towards mistakes that didn't even end up in the final project. So total, we spent about $55,000. That includes the solar, that's everything, including the labor on building it. Me and a buddy, I paid my buddy, and all of that was incorporated into the cost, and it was only about 55 grand.
The advice I would give is to see what other people have done and see that it can be something you make your own and make it nice, and it's not just a box.
I'm really fortunate. Janine was like gung-ho about it. It's like it made sense to her because there is going to be a little bit of an upfront cost, but it's not nearly what a new home or even a traditional home is going to cost. And then the long term, financially, it just makes sense. You don't have this mortgage, you don't have this huge amount of space that you have to heat and cool, and all of the energy and inefficiencies that these big homes come with. And so by downsizing, our technology has allowed us to downsize. If you think about it, all of our technology has gotten smaller in the last 20 years. Like, we don't have these huge boom boxes anymore. We don't have these camcorders that sit on your shoulder. We don't have shelves full of VHSs. We have smartphones that hold all of our data, all of our videos, all of our music, everything in our pocket. We don't need these huge homes anymore to store all of this stuff. All of our stuff has gotten smaller, yet our homes have doubled in size since the 1950s. It doesn't make sense. We haven't actually gotten all that much bigger. On average, we've gotten a little bit bigger. But really, we don't need as much space as a lot of people are still conditioned to think we need.